Ooh, that looks tasty.
Welcome, folks, to The Hungry Gamer is back with another Game of the Year nominee video. Very exciting. For those of you who are saying, but hungry, it's only November, the year's not over, I want to explain myself. So the reason that I do this starting in November is I've started doing my calendar year. I guess, is that my fiscal year? I'm not making any money, but my fiscal year, I guess, from November to November. And the reason that I do that is because there is a little bit, at least for me, an end of the year bias when it comes to games of the year, because often it's what is the game that's in your head. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing I played all year. So what I do is I go back, I look at all the games I played all year, and then I take those and in the month of November and into December as necessary, I replay all of those games. And I try to play them in ways I haven't played them before, I haven't played them a lot. Sometimes that means a solo mode, sometimes that means a max player count or two player, whatever it may be, in order to try to get everything onto an even playing field. And I find it works really, really well because anybody who plays lots of games knows that you might get something that's just awesome in January and you play the heck out of it and then something new cool comes in and that game kind of sits on the shelf and maybe you remember to pull it out, maybe you don't, and then you look at it like, oh yeah, I really like that game. So for that reason, I find it works really, really well to do it that way. And something I started last year, which also really worked out well. In fact, a lot of people wanted me to show the final stats, and I'm going to do a little bit of that this year, is I broke it down into different categories, and I ranked everything in those categories, and that's how I determined which game was the winner. And so what I've done this year is I have expanded the categories just a little bit. I've split the category up that I had last year just a little bit to really try to lock in a way for me to rate these games. And so the categories this year are going to be story, theme, and so I pulled story out of theme because story in games just matters a ton to me. I love story in games. Now, to be clear, that does not necessarily mean that if a game is a dungeon crawl with a big story, it's definitely going to win. Because one of the buzz terms that we like to use in the board game reviewer industry hobby is emergent narrative. Sometimes you're just by playing the game, you are telling a story and you're thinking about the story and you're thinking about certain moments. And so I also mean that, the kind of emergent narrative as well as actual story in a game. So both of those comes into story. Then there is theme. And theme is just literally the theme that I like the most. And so for that, there are going to be some games that have an advantage. I tend to like whimsy. I tend to like strange things. I tend to like fantasy over sci-fi and things like that. But theme is the next one. Next is going to be replay. Do I want to keep playing it over and over again? Obviously, all of these games I want to play over and over again, but what kind of replay value do I think that they have? Next is weight, and this one is the most gimme of all of them because, truth be told, there is a sweet spot for me in weights that I most enjoy. I play a lot of games that are heavier and lighter, but I tend to like the medium weight or heavy medium style games, and that tends to be the sweet spot for me. And so I kind of look at that as I think of, oh, what's the best game of the year to me? Well, the one that's going to be the weight that I like the most. Next one is con play. And this is a game that, how good is this to play at a convention? Is this something that I want to take to a convention, that I want to play with people? I don't know. And I think that is a very important part of gaming, is being able to meet new people. I know the more and more that I play games and go to conventions and start to know people, I start to just play games with people that I know. And I really like not to do that. I like to meet new people, play things with new people. And so which of these games are ones I'm like, yep, that's a good game to play at a con? Next is unique. Are there things about it that are unique? There's lots of games out there that I love that are just using tableau building or using just dice drafting or something. And most games are using the same kind of mechanics, but are they doing it in a new way? Is there something about this game that I'm like, oh man, I can't find that in any other game? So uniqueness is there. Next is art. How much do I like the art? Next, production. How good of a production is this game? Which I almost feel like I should call the cardboard alchemy memorial category. Well, they're not dead. I guess not memorial. I don't know, honorary. What point being, Cardboard Alchemy, anytime they get a game on this list, they're probably going to lock that down. But production, how cool is it? How good does it look on the table? How easy is it to put away? All of those things. Production. Now, the last one is I'm adding this year, which is kind of in honor of my students, vibes. Just how am I feeling about it? Right? Because we all know that sometimes we're trying to make a decision and then we'll make a choice that's smart and be like, oh, but I kind of wanted the other one. So I'm just calling that vibes. How am I feeling about it? What do I think? When I look at these titles, which ones make me smile the most? Vibes. So there you have it. And I'm going to take all of those. I'm going to rank them all the games 1 through 5 in all of those categories. And at the end, whichever game has the lowest number, that's going to be the winner. Now, before I tell us what the nominees are, I want to jump in with a bit of a delay on me announcing my expansion of the year. Usually, I've started announcing what my favorite expansion of the year. I've usually done it during this video. However, I just, right before the buzzer, it must have been on October 26th, got a review copy in, and it came with an expansion. And it's an expansion that is a really, really good expansion. It is fantastic. And I thought I knew what my expansion of the year was, but now I gotta run this game through its paces and see if maybe this new one is expansion of the year. So I will announce the expansion of the year winner at the beginning of the next video. Okay, so let's talk about Game of the Year nominees, and we're going to start first with our honorable mentions. And this year I actually have 3 honorable mentions. And the first one is the game that I should call the category con game the Lightspeed Arena Memorial category, because this game is just amazing. 5 minutes to play, 5 minutes to teach, and yet there are times when I will find myself at a table for an hour playing it over and over and over again. It is just so much fun, so much chaos, and just delight. Pure delight. Now, all the rest of the categories, it's not going to win for me because, well, it's way too light of a game, but it is so much fun. It must have an honorable mention of just the best con game I've ever seen. Pure fun, delightful. I adore this game. Lightspeed Arena, my first honorable mention for Game of the Year 2025. Now moving the other direction to a heavy game, which is a game that's just a little bit heavier than is kind of my sweet spot. And at kind of the edge of this. And I will say that there was another game that almost qualified for this, but it just did not show up at the right time to qualify for my year. It's sadly a game that kind of missed the cycle because of when it arrived, and that is Inferno. Inferno is a very good, heavy game, does really cool stuff, but it did not make my window. So my honorable mention for a game that's just a little bit heavier than is going to be one of my Game of the Year candidates is Shackleton Base. Very cool game. Dry Euro, but has lots of fun kind of things going on with different corporations you're trying to do, always doing different things. Worker placement, a little bit of tableau building, recipe fulfillment, or maybe not recipe fulfillment, depending on what corporations you're playing with. A lot of kind of interaction around the board, the way it works, but not really a take that kind of interaction. Just really good game. A game that doesn't care about your feelings, but a really fun game. I really enjoy it, and that is my second honorable mention for 2025. And this year I'm adding kind of a new honorable mention category, which may or may not be given out every year. And that is the Mrs. Hungry Gamer favorite game of the year. Now, Mrs. Hungry Gamer plays a lot of games with me. And sometimes she does it begrudgingly, and sometimes she does it because she actually wants to play that game. And this year, for the first time I can think of ever, we got a game that we've been playing on occasion that she actually doesn't care if she loses. She doesn't care if she loses badly because she just enjoys what she is making and the little adventures that she's going on, and that is Above and Below Haunted. Wonderful game. Wonderful production. I really, really like this game, and a special call out to, I think if you get this game, absolutely get the print and play Haunted Museum or Ghost Museum expansion. It's just a great little add to the game. It's a wonderful game, really, really fun. But for me, it's just a little bit too light. Like the Shackleton base is a little bit too heavy. This is a little bit too light to be something that's a serious contender for me for Game of the Year, but really, really fun. In fact, there it is right there. Great game. So that brings us into the 5 nominees for Game of the Year. These are listed in no particular order, so don't read anything into it, but here we go. The first one is Wandering Galaxy. This is a game from Plaid Hat Games and Jerry Hawthorne, which took 2 preceding games of Forgotten Waters and Freelancers from Plaid Hat Games and just distilled it to close to perfection. The story is fun, it is funny, it keeps you interested, it has fun callbacks as you're going through, it has this wonderful app that just tells the story as you're going through the game. It is possible to get a book with all the story in it. I don't have that, but apparently it's like this thick. But you can get that instead, and it just is so much fun. And a special call out that you can play it over Zoom with other people if they have a copy of the game. Easy to play over Zoom. You could probably do it even if they don't have a copy of the game, but just a delightful, delightful game. I'm looking forward to kind of diving in and playing solo, something I haven't done before. I'm probably going to try to play through an entire campaign solo, and so that's really going to let me get a really good feel for this game. But Wandering Galaxy is the first one on the list. Next one on the list is Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship from Z-Man Games and Matt Leacock. And this is an evolution of Pandemic, and I'm told of the Pandemic Fall of Rome series, so I never played it. And this is a beautiful, beautiful game that is probably got one of the best productions I've ever seen for a retail game. It has this wonderful art. It has these wonderful little flying Nazgul ring race that are all over the place, and you have all these different characters that you can play, and you're just trying to get across all of Middle Earth, and the way you're able to use different quests every single time is going to vary up the game and the way you have to deal with things to win. It's got just the right amount of chaos for me and the right amount of mitigation for me. Just a really fun game that I really enjoy. Next, staying on the theme of Fate, we have Fate Defenders of Grimheim from Fricks Games, and this is one that I didn't know anything about, but Aldi from BGG told me on a stream that we were both on one night that it was really fun and I had to check it out. So I chased down a review copy, and then I wound up buying all the expansions, so I had those as well. And it's just a tower defense style game where you're quickly running around and kind of leveling up your characters, and you're chucking dice and using all kinds of crazy, wacky abilities, and it just works. Every time, it just really, really works, and it's relatively easy to teach and pretty quick to play. Not easy, but pretty quick to play. Really, really enjoy Fate Defenders of Grimheim. The fourth one on the list is Vantage from Stonemaier Games, designed by Jamie Stegmaier, and this is another one that I didn't know what to think about when I first reached out and asked for a review copy for this one. And since then, I have upgraded all of my bits. I now have the metal coins, I have the dual layer player boards, I have the wooden tokens, I've even made multiple pet cards because Jamie put out the ability to make your own pet into a card in the game, which is just awesome. I love it. But I also love that this is the first truly open world game that has really grabbed me. I have a blast playing through this every single time, and you go through and you have a weird, wacky adventure. You never know what it's going to be. You never know how you're going to win, and you always find something fun and find something new. And just like with Wandering Galaxy, I've been playing this over Zoom with Canadian Kev, and in fact, now that we finished our Wandering Galaxy campaign, Jerry Hawthorne has also chased down a copy of Vantage, and so we're going to try playing 3-player over Zoom. Really excited for it. It's just a special little game that I have such a great time with. And then the last one is my only dungeon crawl on the list, and I'm so happy that it is on this list because I waited, I don't know, 4 years for this game? 3? I don't know. I pledged for this thing forever ago. and that is right here. Oh, can't quite see it. That is Iridia, The Paths We Dare Tread. This is a massive dungeon crawl with tons of, well, I guess more of an adventure game with all these pre-painted minis that are hidden inside boxes, little advent calendar style, and it's just a unique take on dungeon crawl and adventure and the way you fight and the way you level up and the abilities and all this story that you're getting off of all these cards. And it's another one that's pretty sandboxy, not quite as sandboxy as Vantage, but very much a sandbox. You're just trying to succeed. I don't know where it's going, but I can't wait to find out, and I've really enjoyed it when I played, particularly when I played solo. It just love playing solo. I love leveling up my character and what's going on, and discovering things and finding things. Just really, really a clever game that so far I have not begrudged any of the money that I put into it. I won't tell you how much money I put into it because it's an expensive game, but I've really enjoyed it so far. So there you have it, folks. Those are my 5 Game of the Year nominees, a secret not telling you about Expansion of the Year nominees, and my 3 honorable mentions. I will say the honorable mention winners are going to get this amazing seal right there, and the Game of the Year nominees are going to get this amazing seal right there, and whoever wins is going to get that amazing seal right there. And I can only assume that all of these seals are very shortly going to be tattooed on the smalls of some people's backs. I don't know, you do you, but also please do that. So there you have it, folks. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, maybe become a channel member. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.